Greetings, mathematicians. Unit 8, Lesson 2, metric units of volume. And volume is how we measure liquid. So that's what we want to think about. We want to think about liquid. So think about cans of soda or a glass of water. We're measuring how much liquid is in something. We are measuring volume. All right, let's take a look at our objective. I will use my previous knowledge to convert metric units by multiplying and dividing by 10. All right, say one more time with me. I will use my previous knowledge to convert metric units by multiplying and dividing by 10. If we just look just a little bit lower, there is a model of that multiplying and dividing. Take a moment, tap back into the previous lesson. What does K, H, D, U, D, C, and M stand for? All right. In a previous lesson, we were talking about distance, and distance, our unit, our center, was a meter. This time around, we are going to be using the letter L, which stands for liter. And it is a capital L. All right. So again, these are all prefixes. We have kilo, hecto, deca. So kiloliter, hectoliter, decaliter. Our main unit is a liter. Then if we multiply by 10, we're getting smaller pieces. We're going to end up getting deciliter by 100, centiliter by 1,000, milliliter. And this is one you're probably familiar with. Milliliters and liters are measures that we often see with liquids. All right, let's take a look at an example. Here I've got a massive hot chocolate, and the measure I have, it's 33 hundredths of a liter. And I want to make sure that my King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk is in frame, my mnemonic device. So I'm going from liter to deciliter, going times 10. So I need to make it 10 times greater. So I'm going from unit to deci. What would that be? Well, it's only one space, which means I'm multiplying by 10. So that's simply moving our decimal over. So 33 hundredths of a liter is 3 3/10 of a deciliter. Easy peasy. Let's take that liter down to a centiliter. So again, we're going two spaces this time. So instead of times 10, we're going times 100. So 33 hundredths times 100, so it's going to be greater, goes to centiliters. So what would that be? Well, multiplying by 100, that means I'm going two spaces, 1, 2. So I end up with 33 centiliters. Notice there is a pattern. I have the number 33. Here the decimal's in the middle. Here the decimal's not visible, which means it's back here. All right, let's keep going. This time around, I'm going from liter to milliliter. So I'm going to times 1,000. So 1, 2, I don't have a third space. So I'm gonna have to put a 0 in. So that will make 330 milliliters. Put a decimal in there for measure. All right, excellent job. Now, this was, of course, taking our liter and making it smaller. Now, even though we're multiplying by 10, 100, 1,000, each of these pieces gets tiny. So as a measure of a liter, this is 1/3 of a liter. As a deciliter, this is 3 whole deciliters and 3/10 of a liter, or of a deciliter. As far as centiliters go, this cup is 33 complete centiliters. That means those centiliters are tiny. And when we get down to milliliter, there's 330 milliliters in this cup. So the pieces have gotten smaller. There's just many more of the pieces. let's go the other route. I've got my Nalgene. It's 0.75 liters or 75 hundredths of a liter. And this time I want to go bigger. I want to go to a deciliter or a hectoliter or a kiloliter. So let's go bigger this time. Well, let's go with a bigger measure by dividing. So I'm going from 0.7 liters to deci. So I'm going divide by 10. If I'm going left, it simply goes to the left. So I end up with 0.075 deciliters. All right, let's figure out hectoliters. You're dividing by 100. How many zeros are in 100? 2. So that means how many spaces am I moving? 2. So what would 75 hundredths liters be as hectoliters? All right, 1, 2, put in a 0. I'll end up with 0.0075 hectoliters. Last one, let's go kilo. So divide by 10, divide by 100. We're going to divide by 1,000. 1, 2, 3 zeros. What will our answer be? Look at the pattern if you need to. 0.075, 0.0075. This one will simply be we're going 3 zeros this time. So it's 1 space, 2 spaces, 3 spaces for the decimal. All right, excellent. All right, guys, that's very simple. It builds on what we learned in the last lesson. This time, the only big differences are unit turns into a liter. The prefixes stay the same. Kiloliter, hecta, kilo, hecta, deca, unit, deci, centi, milli. All right, let's do a quick practice. And anytime I do a practice, I'm going to want to make sure that I have my mnemonic device. And my unit of measure this time is liter. So 5,811 milliliters, 2 liters. So my decimal is going to move to the left. How many spaces? Try to convert it. All right, my decimal begins here. I'm going 1, 2, 3. So my comma is being replaced by a decimal. So I get 5 and 811 thousandths of a liter. Let's keep going. 297 liter to kiloliter. So I'm starting at L. And which direction am I going? That's right, I'm going left. So I'm dividing by 10, 100, 1,000. I'm going to divide by 1,000. What would your answer be? 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. 0 and 297th, 7 kiloliters. And last but not least, we're going from liters to milliliters. So middle to the right. The pieces get smaller, the number gets bigger. Times 10, times 100, times 1,000. So how many spaces will that decimal move? By 10, by 100, by 1,000. 780 milliliters. All right, my friends, you'll see more problems like this throughout Prodigy and in our studies on iReady. All right, folks, I'll see you soon.